Hello, it's Maggie, the Cheshire Crafter here. Now, it's coming up to another bank holiday in May, and you haven't seen much of me in May because I haven't felt very well. And also, one of the members of my family hasn't been very well. So I'm very much behind on my sewing. I'm hoping to do some sewing this bank holiday weekend coming up. And today I was able to get out into Frodsham to one of my favourite places, which is Lady Hayes craft centre and vintage and antique and craft centre, and I've taken some photographs and I've bought a few things, and I thought I'd share with you some of the art, craft, music and what I bought, because I did spend some money there. I'm very sad to say that the lady that had the patchwork fabric shop, Ella, has now closed down, but I'm pleased to say that the record shop is still there, and the new premises and the old premises of people that have now retired are going to be taken up soon by new businesses, so that's good. And then we went to Frodsham and I popped into a couple of charity shops, and I found a couple of things I always recommend that you look out for at this time of the year. So first of all, let me show you where I've been and what I found and where I found it. And the other thing is, I had a nice lunch in the cafe at Lady Hayes Garden Centre, and because it's now starting to get busy for the bank holiday weekend, the caravan site is starting to pick up. Although I'm very careful what I photograph when I photograph the glamping pods, I'm careful not to include anybody's car, but these are empty at the moment. I'm sure they're going to be full for the bank holiday weekend. Right, let's see where I've been and what I've bought. First of all then, from the row of shops that are the vintage and antique shops, I went to the Cheshire Vintage Antique Emporium and found this 1971 album. This is Emerson, Lake and Palmer's Pictures at an Exhibition, taken from Mussorgsky's music with lyrics and added songs from Emerson, Lake and Palmer. This features the Nutcracker at the end of it. One of my favourite albums of all times, and I haven't had that in my collection, so I added that to it. That was £8. And especially as Ella has now retired and we haven't got the option of buying fabric from her fabric shop, I was pleased to find this series of fat quarters. This is Novelty Americana. I'm going to open this up and show you the fabrics in a moment. This is 5 fat quarters. I paid £7.50, which I thought was a bargain. And especially I thought to do something with that this year for the 4th of July, and I'll show you that as I make it up. These are very good quality fabrics, and obviously I'm opening them out. This is half a fat quarter, so this is a fat eighth. This one features maps, the counties, the states, methods of travel. Really like that, and some of the stamps like that. This one features dogs and the US flag. This one reminded me a little bit of for Valor, the Valor quilts that people make for the veterans. This one is a little bit kitsch Americana. And finally, this is 1776, We the People. I like that. 4th of July. I have no idea whose fabric this is because there's nothing written in the selvage. I've got plenty of time to look out for a pattern for those, but I must bear in mind that many of these are directional prints. I always look in Buffy's Emporium for vintage fabrics, and I didn't find any that caught my eye today, but I did buy these vintage buttons. These were 50p each. That's £1 for the two. The lady is not going to make a fortune from me today, is she? Although I do recycle my buttons, when I see something unusual, and especially at the price that these were, I think it's worth buying them and adding them to my stash. Lady Hayes is delightful to visit and to shop. Let me share with you some of the photographs of it and some of the things for sale within those vintage barns. We stopped and had lunch in the coffee shop. I had avocado on toast and cappuccino before setting off to the shopping centre in Edisbury Square, Frodsham, where I always like to look in the charity shops. And in two of those charity shops today, I found this pink Peruna cotton skirt. Now, the Peruna is a brand that is selling Marks and Spencer's. I paid $4.99 for this. You've seen me take these apart before. They're flared with godets and an asymmetrical hem, and they also have a lining which is fully cotton. So it's like 2 skirts in one. This one hasn't got any detail like some of the others I bought recently that have the Swiss dot on it. But I knew that this would go very well with some of the fabrics that I bought recently, especially in the one-day sale. Let me show you those. Yes, they'll combine beautifully, won't they? If you haven't seen that one-day sale video, go back and watch it. It was a few videos ago. And also, you can see that that skirt will go nicely with my existing red and pinks fabric stash. I've taken my own advice here. At this time of year, I always advise you to look out for ladies' trousers, especially if they're white, cream or beige linen, because that will blend into my linen stash brilliantly. Now these are plain up and down. They've got nice pearlised buttons and there are no pockets on this pair of trousers. This again was just under £5 from Oxfam. And in the Hospice for the Good Shepherd charity shop, I found this pair of similar trousers. This has got a very recognisable label, Topshop. But the quality of the linen is really good in them. The buttons are a bit nondescript. Now this is more complicated because there are pockets. There are 2 side pockets. This was a beautifully made pair of trousers. And on the back there's not only a waistband, but there are 2 patch pockets on the back as well. So I'm going to try and take those over very carefully without leaving a hole if I can. And I paid £4.79 for those. And I enjoyed my trip out, so I hope you did too. I'm looking forward to the bank holiday. This is known as Whit. And I'll see you soon when I'm going to be completing some baby quilts. Come back and join me for that, won't you? In the meantime, if you haven't seen my previous visits to Lady Hayes, go back and watch that video. And if you haven't seen the one-day fabric sale that we went to in Tatton Hall recently, go back and watch that as well, because that'll make sense with knowing what I've got and why I picked up the fabric in the charity shops that I did today. And then you'll understand why I left some other things behind. Right, this is Maggie, the Cheshire Crafter. Don't forget to like, subscribe and come back and see me soon. Ta-da!